In this training video, we will show you how to set up a twister display dunk tank. When the dunk tank is at the setup location, disconnect the dunk tank from the vehicle's hitch. Make sure you're disconnecting all components including the tongue lock, electrical line, and both chains. Move the dunk tank to the exact area in which it needs to be placed and rest the tank with the hitch in the air. Disconnect the electrical plug first. Then remove both pins, starting with the small pin and then the bigger pin. Pull the hitch out and place both pins back in their respective holes, securing the big pin with the small pin. Set the hitch off to the side. This is no longer needed until teardown. Carefully tilt the tank so the hitch side is now on the ground. This next step may be easier with 2 people. Tip the tank up to its operating position. Next, we need to assemble the backdrop. There are 2 chains securing the backdrop arms in place. One chain on the top and the other on the bottom. Remove the 2 travel pins from the top of the bracket. Be careful not to let the bottom arm slam down after removing the top arm bracket. Remove the top arm and then gently lay the bottom of the frame down. Place the top arm into place, this time sticking outwards as shown here. Put both pins back in place. Next, we need to put the backdrop canvas on. Start by putting the top of the backdrop on the top arm first, but only a little bit. Then move to the bottom arm, slide the canvas over the bottom arm. Once both top and bottom sides of the canvas are partially in, work the canvas all the way through on both arms. Make sure you install the canvas correctly. Look for the markings on the canvas identifying what side is up. Next, we need to install the target and trigger arm. Remove the small pin and pull the rod out of its travel position. Then slide the trigger arm in between the trigger and backstop under the seat, into the pivot hole in the frame, and also in the cutout hole in the canvas. Reinstall the small pin. Then screw the target onto the trigger arm. Keep the target loose. Do not tighten it down all the way. In fact, after it can't screw in anymore, unscrew it 1 turn so it comes out easier later on. Test the functionality of the trigger arm by pressing the target and putting some pressure on the seat with your hand. If it releases when the target is pressed and latches securely when the seat is put back up, the dunk tank is working properly. Make sure your water release valve is closed and you're ready to fill the tank with water. Remember, water must be above the window line in order to be safely operated. When your event is done and you're ready to tear down, first start by draining the tank. It may be best to ask the last person in the dunk tank to open the valve. You may get wet. After the drain is open, remove the target by twisting it to the left. Put the target and the balls in the provided transportation box. Then remove the trigger arm and stow it back in its transport position. Remove the 2 pins on the top canvas arm and take it off. Fold the bottom arm up. Install the top arm so it is facing down and put the pins in to secure it. Secure both chains around each of the backdrop arms. Carefully tilt the dunk tank backwards and onto the tires. You may want 2 people to help with this step. Once the tires are on the ground, tilt the dunk tank so it's resting on the cage side. Now it's time to reinstall the hitch. Take the pins out of the hitch and slide the hitch into the sleeves on the trailer. Secure the tongue with both pins and secure the large pin with the smaller pin. Then hook up the electrical. Roll the dunk tank to your towing vehicle and onto the ball. Lock the hitch into place and secure it with the hitch pin. Attach both chains to the towing vehicle and attach the electrical. Before going down the road, make sure that everything on the dunk tank is secure and ready for transport. Also make sure that your lights are fully working. Enjoy the use of your dunk tank rental and remember that safety always comes first. Please follow all operating guidelines and rules and, of course, have fun.